So, good morning students. This is Dr. Muromadi. I am going to express barriers of international trade. So, international trade means exchange of goods and services within countries. Exchange of goods and services within countries. So, international trade, it is very helpful to develop world economic. It helps to buyer to buy variety of goods. It very much helpful to buyer to buy the quality product at lowest cost. So, all over world, international trade is a most important activities. So, now going to see barriers of international trade. So, what is barriers of international trade? Listen, a country is connected with a set of policy. Each country having some policies, measures that have impact upon the international trade. So, each country having some policies to measure the international trade. Trade barriers are measures the government and public authorities to introduce, the prevent or restrict the overseas trade and investments. To restriction of trade and investment. Restriction of trade and investments. So, the barriers of international trade classified two category. One is tariff barriers, another one is non-tariff barriers. So, now going to see tariff barriers. What is tariff barriers? Tariff is a customs duty or tax on product that moves across the borders. So, tariff means tax or customs duties. Tax or customs duties on products that moves across the borders, one country to another country. The customs duty is most important of tariff barriers imposed by the importing country. The importing country imposed customs duty. So, the duties fixed of product on the time of imports, it is tariff barriers. A tax may also be imposed by the exporting country on its exports. Sometimes some countries fixation of some tax for exporting of goods. It is also tariff barriers. However, the government rarely imposed tariff on exports. Maximum some countries it is restricted the goods for exporting the other country, so that the fixation of tariff barriers. Okay, now types of tariff barriers. So, first types specific duty. First type specific duties. So, specific duty is nothing but the physical characteristics of your goods. So, the physical characteristics of the goods may be considered in specific duties. So, characteristics means product weight and measures of the commodity. Product weight and measures of. When the fixed sum of money keeping in view the weight or measurement of the commodity. Weight or measurement of the commodity is levied as tariff. It is called as a specific duty. Okay, right. A fixed sum of import duties may be the import of every quality and value of goods. Every quality of some duty is fixation at the time of import, every quality and value of goods. Next one point, it is easy to administer as they do not involve the problem of determining of value of imported goods. So, specific duty is fixed to, it is easy to administration of imported goods. Next, third point, previous, back. So, in practice, the type of duty is mostly levied on majority of items. So, specific duty is fixed on majority of third point. So, next duty, second point, ad valorem duties. Ad valorem duties is a fixation based on value of commodity or at the time of import and exporting of goods. So, it is ad valorem duty is nothing but value of commodity at the time of import and exporting of the goods. The fixed percentage of value of commodity is added as a tariff. Ignore the consideration of weight, size and volume of commodity. Weight and size and the volume of commodities. Okay, right. This duty is very useful for the goods whose value cannot be determined on the basis of the physical and chemical characteristics of. So the ad valorem duty is fixed where physical and chemical characteristics. Second point, it is suitable for costly works or rare manuscript, etc. So it is fixation of these duties for value of commodity, the value of commodity. Okay, then third point, in practice this type of duty is mostly levied on majority item. For costly goods of gold, platinum, so the ad valorem duty is the value of gold, platinum, diamonds. So at the time of importing of the gold, platinum and diamonds, the fixation of these type of duties. Next, third tariff barrier, combined and compound duties, is nothing but is combination of specific duty and ad valorem duty on a single product. So a single product, combination of specific duty and ad valorem duty on a single product. So there can be combined duty of 10% value of ad valorem duty and ₹1 on every meter of cloth is charged at the time of duty. Thus in this case of both duties are charged together. Okay, next, fourth, protective duties. The protective duty is tariff is nothing but the protect the domestic industries from stiff competition of imported goods. So at the time of importing of particular goods, for protect the domestic industries. Protective duty is tariffs levied on imports. Normally is very high duty is imposed so as either discourage the imports for protection of domestic industries. Next, fifth point, anti-dumping duties. Anti-dumping duty is nothing but it is also to protect the domestic industries. The export countries attempt to capture the foreign market by selling the product at the lowest cost. So to avoid such kind of practices, the government fixation of anti-dumping duties. Next, sixth point, revenue tariff. Revenue tariff is a fixation of government is imposing a tariff, may be a obtained revenue. Generally is a tariff is imposed with a view of earning revenue by imposing duty on consumer goods, particularly on luxury goods. And next one, countervailing duties. It is imposed on certain imports where products are subsidized by the exporting the government. Countervailing duties means some kinds of import the government provides some subsidies. As a result of the government subsidies, importing become cheaper than domestic goods. So some goods are manufacturing is better than import from foreign countries, so that it is duties levied countervailing duties. Then the eighth one, sliding scale duties. The import duties which is vary with this price of commodities are called sliding scale. Sliding scale means gradually. Historically this duty is confined to the agriculture products. So depends upon the quality and quantity of product, the duty is levied. So totally 8 duties levied in the name of tariff barriers. Next heading, non-tariff barriers. So non-tariff barriers is nothing but it is any barrier other than the tariff. So other than the tariffs to rise and obstacles of free flow of goods among the nations. Flow of goods. So types of tariff barriers. So next, types of tariff barriers is totally 9 types, the non-tariff barriers. First, product standards. First one, product standards. So product standard is one of the non-tariff barriers. What is product standards means? Most developed countries impose product standards for importing items. So if the imported items do not conform the established standards, the imports are not allowed. From the examples of the pharmaceutical products. Examples of pharmaceutical products. In India, in the government fixation of some quality of chemical and pharmaceutical products only imports. So those chemical and pharmaceutical products specific mention the particular standard of qualities. Suppose if the quality is reduced, the government banned to import the goods. So there is product standard barriers. Second one, domestic content requirement. Domestic content means the India or other countries, the fixation of requirement of domestic countries. So based on the basic domestic requirement, the fixation of imports. So the government impose domestic content requirements, boost the domestic production. It is helpful to domestic industries to boost the domestic productions. For example, the US bailout package on the bailout General Motors and other organizations, and the US government show restriction of domestic requirement. The US government restriction of the General Motors tariff product labeling. So already you are very well known. So some of product in the compulsory known the specific type of labeling. The certain nations insist upon the specific labeling of the product. Specific labeling is nothing means we must use major language spoken in the Europe countries. Some of the Europe countries in the fixation only the particular type of product must be in own language, that is called own language, that is called the product labeling must be in languages of spoken in India also. Okay, next, fourth non-tariff barrier, packaging requirements. So some nations insist the particular type of packaging materials, is a compulsory required for importing the goods or exporting the goods. Okay, next one, consular formalities. It is another one non-tariff barriers. A number of importing countries demand that shipping the documents. So shipping documents compulsory require at the time of import and exporting of goods. So it is a consular formalities. And the sixth one, state trading. State trading means in some countries like India, certain items imported or exported only through canalizing the through agencies services. It is to restriction of goods import and export. So it is also state trading barriers. Next one, seventh one, preferential arrangement. Preferential arrangement is means preference. Some nations from trading groups for preferential arrangement means the trade among themselves, import from member countries given the preference. So which one is most required, which is not, does not require. So based on preference, it is arrangements is given. It is one of the non-tariff barriers. Next, the eighth one, foreign exchange regulations. Foreign exchange regulation. Importer has to ensure that adequate foreign exchanges regulations means the import of goods obtaining from clearance from exchange control authorities. Very important. The exchange through exchange control authorities to exchange of the goods one country to another country. Then last one, non-tariff barriers. There is a number of other than non-tariff barriers such as health and safety regulations also include it is one of the non-tariff barriers. Okay, right. Next topic, impact of tariff. So already you very much known about the barriers is divided two category. One is tariff barriers, another one is non-tariff barriers. Okay, but now impact of tariff. Tariff impact. So tariff can affect the import volume, prices, production and consumptions. So tariffs is a affect import volume, prices, production and consumptions. Though also affect the terms of trade and the balance of payment, etc. also. So terms of trade and balance of payment. So first impact, price effect. First impact, price effect. The price does not rise at the all time. It means that entire burden of tariffs is shouldered by the exporters. Hence, in the incidence of false otherwise, so the rise in the price is less than the full amount of duties. Though it is tariff is fixation of product is increase the rate, product rate. Automatically, the product rate is as impact. Product rate is impact. So next impact, productivity impact, productivity effect. A tariff duty is purely productivity, only the prohibit the total imports of the commodity. There is nothing but it is protect the domestic interest. Protect the domestic industry. So productivity effects mean the fixation of tariff. It is helps to productivity of domestic countries, domestic industries. So local market, how protect for the purpose is effect. Then third one, revenue effect. It is also provide revenue to the government. It is provide revenue to the, it is the another one effect. And the fourth one, transfer or redistribution effect means after the imposing of tariff, the domestic prices will rise automatically because the domestic prices will rise. So hence the receipts of producers will increases when consumer surplus to that extent of declines. So it is also transfer and redistribution effect. It is another impact of tariff. And fifth point, consumption effect. It is generally reduce the total consumption of foreign goods in local countries, foreign goods in local. And sixth one, terms of trade effect. Terms of trade, the effect of tariff is lower import of price is related to export of price, that by improving the terms of trade of tariff of countries. Okay, next, balance of payment effect. So balance of payments is very most important of international trade. So tariffs not only affect the value of imports and the prices, but also the affect the country balance of. So in international trade, the balance of payment is most impact. Next one, eighth one, income and employment effect. A new flow of income will be generated with its multiplier effect. So it is an expanding of economy, more capital goods, investment will also made the which produce the acceleration of effect. So it is provide government revenue and another also employment opportunities also. So because fixation of tariff to the foreign product, automatically domestic interest will increases, or domestic industries increase also automatically increase the employment opportunity to the local peoples. Then last one, quota systems. See the another one, quota systems. So what is quota system? Nothing but a country may fix in advance the limit of import of quantity of a commodities. So import of quantity of the fix and advance limit of import of quantity of the commodity. So yes, thank you.